good morning, people. Welcome to my channel. Yeah, as we do our countdown to the Club World Cup final, I think it's everybody knows now that Chelsea is going to play PSG, and Chelsea is going there as an underdog. They are underdogs, and I think 20% of the football family will say Chelsea is going to win, and 80% obviously will say PSG will win, considering how they are playing these days. Like what I said earlier on or yesterday, that it seems as if it's a perfect team at the moment. They are playing very well. They I think they haven't actually conceded goals in so many league games and cup games, and yeah, so it's one of those games that personally I'm looking forward to. But I just wanted to take everyone back. We played in 2011, 2022 against two of the best teams. I think those teams will always go down in history as the pinnacle, this Barcelona and Bayern Munich, in 2012 they were the best teams in the world. I think people could have loved to watch Barcelona of that year and Bayern Munich of 2012 to play together in the final of the Champions League. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Chelsea went into the semi-finals as underdogs, and look what happened. But we beat Barcelona 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. Drogba scored that goal. They dominated us. They I think, if I remember correctly, we actually had less than 20% of ball possession. They dominated us, but we won 1-0. And then we then went to Barcelona, to Camp Nou, and we drew 2-2. Actually, we had two of the most famous goals in this Chelsea history. Who remembers Ramirez? That chip that Ramirez did after the Lampard pass. That was the game, and then obviously the famous Torres solo goal, where he scored, and yeah, so I think in that game as well, Iniesta scored as well as Busquets. So we actually drew 2-2 with them, and then we had 3-2 on goal aggregate. So this will tell you that sometimes it doesn't matter how good the team is, right? It's um how the planning and what to expect, how you are going to play. You can have even 10% of ball possession, but all what you do, remember the famous Mourinho parking bus, where people would say that Mourinho would just park the bus and they don't play. They'll just do a counter attack, one counter attack, they score, they won't play anymore. They'll just, ball comes, they kick it out, and all those kind of things. So it depends how we are going to play. But that game for Barcelona actually comes to mind, and also the final itself. Remember what happened, right? Bayern Munich was also all over Chelsea. I think we didn't have our captain as well, John Terry. He had previously red carded in the Barcelona match, and then some few minutes into that final, KU actually had an issue with his hamstring. He was actually substituted, and I remember we had to improvise and put Bosingwa on the central defense and all those kind of things. But Drogba actually scored again, and then we went into penalty, and the rest is history. So that's how the thinking of football must come to. You must remember those kind of games. And So we mustn't give lose hope, Chelsea fans. We've got a history. We know that as long as we get into final, we will play and we'll make sure that we win. So let's not worry too much. I just thought that I just give you a background or a reminder of those two matches that, you know what, we went into those two matches as underdogs. But look, that was our first Champions League in history. And yeah, so let's see what happens on Sunday. My thinking is that we are still going to win 1-0. We will score, and then we'll shut the gates, and yeah, and they won't score. They won't score, because one thing that I've noticed about these guys is that they are very good in counter attacks, very good in counter. So what you just need to do is that we do our own counter attack, we score, and then we make sure that there is no counter attack that is coming on our way, right? And yeah, enough with the rundown to the final. I just wanted to also to bring into this thing of yesterday. I there was actually a report that comes through where they're saying that AC Milan are interested in Nicolas Jackson. So this is what I think. I'm thinking that Nicolas Jackson mustn't be sold for now. I think that those three strikers that we have, Dilap, Jackson, and Joao Pedro, we will be fine, right? So what we then do is that if we then realize that there is a challenge in between, we can always sell in January, because now you will sell one striker and the other striker then get injured. Then what? Because my understanding, some of these things is that we need to understand that for you to dominate and for you to be able to compete, at least you must have two to three strikers, right? Remember those years of Drogba, Anelkas, and Luis Ramis and whatever. That's what we should do. We should have this kind of competition, even though we know that this is our first starter, but we should know that it isn't when we call up another striker is going to assist us. So I don't know if they then decide to give us 60 million or 55 million, who am I say to say stay? He can go, and then we can go and look for another young striker, and then which we can keep, who is not going to give us issues that I want to start and whatever. Then it will be a good business for Chelsea. Manueke, the way I think it, I am seeing it. I think they're just waiting for the World Cup Club World Cup final. They should be announcing Manueke early next week. Arsenal. I think for me, I think everything has been done. I know that they are still saying that the two clubs are discussing, but my thinking is that everything has been resolved. They should be just waiting for the Club World Cup so that it doesn't destabilize the team that Manueke is going. Probably the coach wants to use him on Sunday and all those kind of things. So by Monday, Tuesday, we should have a concrete report on Manueke's movement. Then the last topic that I wanted also to bring in is for Petrovic. I also understand that the movement in terms of going to Bournemouth is always now at a very advanced stage. So the chances are that also next week Petrovic will be moving to Bournemouth. It's a hard one as well. It's for me, Petrovic was supposed to be our first choice, and I've been saying this every time when I speak about his name, that Petrovic should have been our first choice, and Petrovic should be staying. So I don't know what plan of the coach is. I really don't know. And I think for me, the goalkeeping position is the weakest department at the moment at Chelsea. As much as we need a left back, but I think the goalkeeping department is the weakest. I spoke about Courtois yesterday, how he actually saved about 4 or 5 close range or shots from Dembele's and all those. So I don't understand why the coach doesn't want to bring in a top class keeper, because we are going to have a problem. And it's one of those things that people are worried about, and rightly for so, because it's something that it's we know. I think even our opposition, when you see other soccer pundits and commentators, they always speak about that department to say Chelsea is actually they've got a weakness in the goalkeeping department. So let's see what happens if Petrovic leaves. It's good for him. At least he'll go and start there, because he's just going to replace Chelsea. So it's you're getting another keeper from Chelsea as well. So let's see what happens. So yeah, have a good afternoon, guys. We'll meet again soon, just to give you update on the movements of Chelsea players. I know that there are a little bit of some reports that might be coming this afternoon in terms of loans and sales and whatever. As you are aware that we need to sell so that we can balance our books as well. So let's see in the afternoon. Then I'll come back and give you update on that. Okay.